What's going on, guys? This is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. I am excited to be out here today because I've got the brand new Redcat Ascent Fusion. I think Redcat watched my first video because the details that they've added to this truck were a ton of the things that I may have nitpicked or said that I'd like to see, and they did it. Huge thumbs up to Redcat for listening to their feedback. This is kind of what I wanted, and this truck should be really awesome. I haven't driven it yet, still minty fresh right out of the package. We're gonna take a look at it before I scratch it up with the brand new Redcat Ascent Fusion. So here it is, the Redcat Ascent Fusion in this awesome gloss black with these red accents. And the red accents are found everywhere on this chassis. Right outside here, you can see that they've got even red anodized wheel nuts, which on these wheels are actual bead locks. Now, it looks like a ton of screws, but in reality, about 6 or 8 of them are actually metal. I think that's 6 screws in there. And then on the back side, looks like we also have a bead lock ring in here. So double bead lock wheel. So you could actually change out the insert foam or tire if you want to do that. Pretty sweet right there. That's better than the glue-on wheels that we saw previously. Moving on to other red parts that we see is this aluminum red anodized differential cover on the front and rear axle. Redcat says that this is more high clearance to allow for sharper steering. Also in here, we also see some steel universal style joints on the axles as well. Lots of steering travel for this, definitely looking good. And with that diff cover gives us a little more clearance for sharper turning. Overall, steering looks good. I think that it should not be an issue out here for us. Looking forward to seeing how it does. Now, talking about steering, one thing that helps with steering is overdrive or underdrive. Essentially the same thing. Basically, underdrive changes the gear ratio to the rear. Overdrive changes the gear ratio to the front. This truck is marketed as having adjustable underdrive, so you're changing the rear gear ratio. It comes with 20% installed in the transfer case, so you don't even have to get your screwdrivers out when it comes out of the box. The standard Redcat Everest Ascent came with 0% and you had to install the 20. It was included, but you had to change it. This truck comes with 20. Now, another thing that's just glaring here in the sun, and it's really pretty actually, is a carbon fiber chassis. This used to come with a steel chassis on the Redcat Everest Ascent, and now on the Fusion, we're getting a carbon fiber variant. So this is going to save us a ton of weight. This is going to be an excellent upgrade. Huge thumbs up to Redcat for listening to me there. I said that I wanted to see Redcat's version of a carbon fiber chassis for this. I assumed it would be aftermarket. I did not expect them to come out with another truck that would come with a carbon fiber chassis. Now, this may be a nitpick depending on who you are. There's tons of these red anodized spacers in the shocks, on the wheel nuts. There's red all through this thing. If you don't like black and red, it's gonna be a real tough sell basically, because as far as I know, there aren't different colors. As of now, I don't know. I haven't seen it on the box that it's marked to be different colors. I think this is what you get. I will throw something up on the screen if I am wrong, but you've got red built into your shocks. You're not even gonna really be able to get rid of that red unless you change your shocks. You got spacers all over, you got your diff covers, you got your wheel nuts. It would be difficult to get rid of the red if you don't like it. But I don't mind it, it looks pretty good. It looks like a full custom build out here. Tons of aluminum cross members for the chassis braces through here. And that's cool to see aluminum, not just injection molded plastic. Got the excellent same flat skid and smooth sliders on here. Nice smooth belly. This thing's gonna get up and over rocks and not get hung up. That's really cool to see. Now, as far as why we call this the Redcat Ascent Fusion, right here, we've got our Fusion motor from Hobbies. One of my absolute favorite motors. It's got an ESC built into the end bell here, so the ESC and the motor are one and the same, so that reduces wiring, makes things more simplified, and not only is it easier to install into custom builds, it really reduces wiring. It's just an excellent compact design and offers some of the smoothest low-end control you can get. So this truck is going to creepy crawl compared to the other brushed motor that came in the Everest Ascent. Now on the Everest Ascent, we saw 2 body style options. One of them was a cab with a separate bed. This is just the cab. It's the same cab. It just doesn't come with the bed now. So it's cab only. That's just fine with me. You don't have the bed option. You got these big carbon fiber towers. I don't know if these are different than the steel rails. It feels like these sit up pretty high in comparison. But I'm a big fan of these Redcat shocks. I actually put my old Everest Ascent shocks on a different build and they don't leak. They work really well and they damp excellent. The internal springs that were found front and rear on the previous truck are now only in the front. So it's going to help hold the nose down while allowing the rear to articulate fully. So you're gonna get lots of flex in the back, and then when you get on a steep incline, it's not gonna let your front axle unload as much, so that's cool to see. Right here we've got a 1300 milliamp 3S pack. You can see that I've got a Velcro setup in here. The rear cab mount on here sits, 2/3 of the slider back, and the battery strap sits right next to the cab mount, so it's kind of hard to get a secure battery strap up and around this. It's not my absolute favorite feature on this truck. I wish the battery strap ran kind of where this Velcro is. It's workable, but if you look at where this battery is sitting, you really can't go any further back because the wires need to come up and over. So how are you gonna hold your battery in without it falling forward? That's a little thing that I'm seeing here that's not the perfect execution here. Of course, we got our forward motor mount. Even the forward motor mount is carbon fiber now. So we got rid of the steel plate up there, just less weight up top. This is all good stuff. The links are now blacked out instead of chrome like we saw on the last truck. It's just a nice touch on this black and red combo here. True bead locks, better, excellent shocks, better springs in here. In the future, I may take out the internals. We'll see how I like it today. As far as the servo, we've got the Hexfly Torque Spec servo. I did not have any complaints for this servo. This is probably the best RTR servo out there, and this would be the best RTR motor in ESC. Redcat with their electronics, sometimes they put together these awesome packages, and man, they are an excellent value. So this truck, carbon fiber rails, 20% underdrive installed, a Fusion motor, we got beadlock wheels now, $100 more. It's $399 retail as far as I know as of this video. So excellent value there. Really looking forward to seeing how this thing performs. Oh, we've also got steel front and rear bumpers now. You got a mount for a fair lead, and it also folds under nice and smooth, so you're not gonna get any sharp edges there to catch and hang up on things. Yeah, that's awesome. Excellent high quality. We got Sydney out here helping us with our review today. She's out here, she's my rock buddy, and we're gonna see how the Redcat Ascent Fusion does here. A detail I almost forgot to mention, check out the brass portal covers on here. Forward, low weight. The motor is forward and low. We've got a carbon fiber chassis. This is an excellent combo of parts with a brushless motor and a good servo. This thing has real potential at an excellent price point. I am real excited to see how this is gonna shape up. Great work so far, Redcat. Let's see how she drives. Before we get rolling, we've got a 3-channel radio here. We've got an open 3rd channel, a 4-channel radio, and a 3-position switch on channel 4. Those options are available. Channel 4, 3-position would be excellent for a winch. Channel 3, something on off that you could put on there. You've also got steering trim, throttle trim, and endpoint adjustment. This truck came out of the box throwing maximum throw on the steering, so that's good to see. If anything, it was actually a little too much, and I actually dialed it down in one direction. But here's what we're gonna look at here. Originally, the original electronics just didn't have any drag brake. Check this out. Slow, smooth control. This is what we love about the Fusions. We're on throttle here. The truck is moving. Look at how slow and controlled you can get this thing to go. Just creeping along. So we don't have all day, we're gonna keep moving along. But this is why we love the Fusion, and this is why I'm so excited to see this truck. So here's our full throw on steering. It's not class leading. I gotta say that. The only not even complaint I have, if I were doing a custom build, I'm probably not gonna choose these axles to do it. Another thing is that the transfer case gears are plastic yet again, like we saw in the first Redcat Everest Ascent. Now that we've got brushless power, I'm curious how they're gonna hold up, truthfully. The Fusion, it's essentially a Fusion SE, although it's branded as a Fusion RTR motor. The Fusion SE here can certainly put out a good amount of torque, and I'm a little concerned about the longevity of the gears in this. Our track width is pretty narrow with these plastic bead locks. It's great to see that they've got the bead lock option on here now though. Okay, we're gonna reach up for this hook, turn into it. Yeah, we gotta get the oil scrubbed off of these tires. I can tell that these are not hooking up like some of my favorite tires do. That's okay, not every tire does. Well, had to get our first scratch sometime, I guess right after our first climb was the time. There's no pulse width frequency that's gonna ring in your ears while you're crawling around. If you go slow enough, this thing is silent. Big fan of that. I always like a quiet truck, especially if I'm out there like on a trail somewhere with people around. You don't want to bother people with your RC truck. And so being able to go down the trail quietly is always a plus. We're gonna go for the bonus line up here, cut out left. Yep, just need to get these tires a little scrubbed in, and I think it'd be better off. So currently, what I would say is that some tires would improve it, but these are brand new. I mean, take that with a grain of salt. So with the beadlock wheels, I could put the tires that I want on here and not have to buy wheels. Now I did do an overdrive test, and I put a silver dot of Sharpie on the front and rear tire. And for every 5 revolutions, the rear tire goes around one, or I guess every 5 tire revolutions for the rear, the front goes around 6, which if my math is mathin', that means 20%, right? I know those are where they lined up perfectly, so should be just about right. And on my original Everest Ascent, I took the transfer case gears out and put the overdrive in immediately. I didn't care to drive it with 0%. It was included in the box, so in my opinion, it's the equivalent of driving at box stock. The stuff came in the box, right? Now, on this truck, you still get 10% and 0 if that's what you wish. You can swap it out and do those if you choose. I like performance trucks, so having that little bit of added overdrive is a benefit and good value. Oh, I just missed our turn-in point a little bit here. Very technical, tricky line here. And this is the trail I ran with the original truck, so if you want to see how it compares, go and watch that video. There we go, I got our cab further up. Oh. Front right's lifting in the air here. It hasn't drooped out. I can see that shock is not fully extended. So we are seeing those internal springs not allow those shocks to articulate fully, which is kind of the idea, right? You don't want them to droop out. But at the same time, you're losing travel in the shock overall. Personally, I would probably remove those. I don't think we're gonna see a huge difference from drooped out to not drooped out. I would rather have a little more travel in my suspension overall. I like trucks that flex. But the no internal springs in the rear, which is a change, is nice. I like that. I think they paid attention there. Yeah, we're just needing a little more traction from our tires to push us up and over here. Come on, Redcat, get it. You're there. I have to keep it pinned left. Sliders, is it gonna save us? We can turn right pretty sharp. Oh, we just missed that hook on the front left tire. Now, that is one thing I've learned in my days of painting Lexan bodies. Dark colors show scratches a lot more. So already, you can see this truck has been driven. If this truck was white, you would not see nearly as much. So that's one thing that I found interesting is their color choice. And don't get me wrong, I like a glossy black paint job. That's always sweet. So a lot of binding there, and didn't shred a gear, so that's good. It shouldn't shred a gear yet. I need to crack one of these portal gears open and see if the portal is metal or plastic. I know the transfer case gears are plastic. That was a strong bind there. Oh, don't turn that way, truck. So the servo isn't fast, but this Fusion should have a pretty decent BEC in it. Okay, that's the second time I've lost my battery, but granted, I put Velcro in there, so it's kind of on me, I guess. I do believe I remember going up the right side of this, and the ascent had to go to the right. The left line was a little too tricky for it. I remember bumping up. Come on, truck. Can't go too hard because I can't hit the wall up top. Okay, got the hook, got the truck to stay planted up top. Lots of tire spinning here. This compound is not loving this sandstone right now, right out of the box. I think the original tires were better if I remember right. I'm curious if they made a foam change going to the non-glued wheels and tires. I don't know, but at least we could change our inserts if we wanted. Oh, dang, that was a good transition. Okay, we got our front weight up there. It is a flat skid chassis design, so there's no angle on the skid. And what I mean by that is there are some chassis designs where the front sits lower than the rear to help it get up and over breakovers like this. It's got some wheel speed. It's got the 1800 kV variant of this Fusion motor in here, which is the one you want. Okay, here's a test. I'm pretty sure the old truck did not make this. We've got brass up front. We got a Fusion. We've got a carbon fiber chassis. All signs point that it should be able to do this, other than these tires don't love this sandstone. But can they do it anyway? Come on, truck. I'm doing this crawling right now with no momentum. Oh, it almost had it. Now there's a drop. We gotta realign. Okay, with a little momentum it should go. It looks really planted. There it is. Way to go, Fusion. That front brass did make a difference, and not hauling a steel chassis up the hill made a difference. Sweet. That's a tough climb. That's definitely a good sign on an RTR. Got Sydney out here looking at the truck with us. She seems to be a fan, like myself. So yeah, as I kind of mentioned, like the feedback I had on this truck in my original video, I mentioned wanting Redcat to do a brushless combo in it. I knew that they had done a Gen 7 or Gen 8 axe edition where you could get a Hobbywing axe in the truck. They've done things with reef servos before. So like Redcat's one of the few companies willing to invest in good electronics. I don't know why they're the only one willing to do that, but in my opinion, that's great value and should not be ignored. A company that's willing to do that. And we're up on the left rear. I'm really impressed that it got up to this point, actually. Nice, Redcat. Didn't need a big bump. That was very impressive, guys. That was really sweet. Like, no lie. Like, LCG rig impressed on that. I need to get a weight difference on this truck versus the original brushed Everest Ascent. Now, that truck is $300, and this truck is $400. And if you were to look at it on the outside, I mean, it's got half a body now. Why is it worth more? Well, the carbon fiber chassis is not a cheap upgrade, and neither is that electronics combo in there. So a Hobbywing Fusion SE, I think currently is like somewhere around 70 bucks, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 80. So just between those two things, you're getting your value out of it. Plus, they threw brass in the front too, and beadlock tires, beadlock wheels. So there's real points of value on this thing, and I think you're getting more than $100 worth of value buying this upgraded version. And not only that, now I don't have to swap a motor in ESC. I don't have to steal one out of another truck to make a video. It's just working. Currently, my only complaint is just these tires not loving the sandstone. So yeah, I would say just get some Proline G8 tires and you're off to the races. Sydney? Or whatever tires work best in your area. Can I get this pole right here? That'd be a no. Slightly distracted by my dog. I already got some scratch marks on that front steel bumper. I'm not entirely sure if this body has come unclipped in the front or if it just sits that high over that cross member on the steel bumper. Yeah, it didn't grab it there either. Square up even more. There it'll go. Now our rear tire has fallen off. Not ideal on that line, but it made it work. All right, we're gonna test this downhill capabilities here. Now there's not a ton of brass in this, so I don't think we should have front flipping tendencies. I think it will handle itself pretty well. Well, maybe a little bit. In one of our recent competitions, there was a gate where so many people decided to drive this line on the way to the next gate. And it was unnecessary. It was just funny to watch people drive this obstacle for no reason because it's technical and tricky. And a lot of people got stuck on it for no reason. But right now I'm just driving it to challenge the truck. But there's a little tip for you. If you're driving an RC competition, don't drive additional obstacles that aren't necessary. Because 3 feet further down to the left, you can just bypass this whole obstacle. Okay, let's see if we can get it turned around. Barely. It barely squeezed by there, which means it would have set us up bad for this turn. And this is like competition mindset. How sharp can I turn? Can I get my truck to maneuver where I want without backing up? Nice little hop there. You can see the circles still on the rocks here from where the cones were. So let's imagine there's a cone sticking up slightly from that blue circle. That was the line I used the first time. We're on our skid. Slid right through. That's the nice part of that nice smooth belly. Our rear probably would have clipped the cone, but still did the obstacle. Drama free. Nice approach angle. Can it crawl up and over this? It's gonna hit. It slides along nice. Rears are pushing. It's doing kind of a porpoising action, which isn't a bad thing. It's pushed the chassis as far up on the obstacle as possible. A little momentum will get it to go. Yep, just enough to drag those rears into the ledge while the fronts pull. And there she goes. Worked out nice. So overall, guys, first impressions are that this truck is working. It's doing well. Getting back to the tires, not loving that. The suspension feels good. It's planted. It articulates enough. The front end does articulate enough. What else here? I love the Fusion. It's no surprise though. I've already made that clear on my channel. Half my rigs have a Fusion in them. Now I can say more than half because this truck. Oh, we're losing it. We're going off the edge. That's not good. Oh dear. I'm gonna move it. Well, let's give this one more shot. I like the carbon fiber chassis. Personally, I like black and red, but that's just me, and I know that that'll be kind of a controversial thing. Like, some people are gonna be like, oh, I like the truck, but I hate red, or hate gloss black bodies because they get all scratched up and look bad. Now, I know Redcat mentions on their box that they've got that aluminum diff cover on there, which is supposed to add clearance for that tie rod to be able to turn sharper. I don't have the original Everest Ascent to compare it to at this point, so I don't remember if it actually turned sharper. I know that a lot of the other trucks I've been driving recently have better steering than this. It's not bad. It's right at the level of like, it works. I wouldn't complain about it, but sometimes we get spoiled with having as much steering as we do on some of the premium trucks. And it's just kind of that for me. It just, if I can get 50 degrees, I will take 50 degrees, although that is being spoiled. That's a lot of steering angle. Can we get her to get up here? Let's take, whoa, that wasn't good. Let's try that one more time. Now my last truck ended up with a youth driver, and I know that he went out there and has been driving and enjoying it, so I hope he's still out there driving and enjoying that truck. Excellent choice for someone getting into the hobby, whether it's someone who's a bit younger or even just want to try out rock crawling. But this truck is good enough for people who've been in the hobby and know what they want and what's good. This has a lot of things. It checks a lot of boxes, guys. For a great price point and just done. It's already built. Yeah, that was sweet. That was good stuff there. Nice. Impressed by that. That's big thumbs up right there. All right, I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a blue chalk line just to the right of my front tire, and it comes all the way out to a crack out here. This is a boundary line from one of our recent competitions, meaning you couldn't drive straight down into this. So we're gonna see if we can get this truck to turn how we want, if we can maintain steering control, and get this thing to land and go where we want. So far, it's right on the money. Awesome. Oh, it's gonna drop a tire in. It almost had it. Can it bring itself back? Look at the front end. Yeah, I've still got steering authority here. So look at that. Used our windshield A-pillar for a little bit of traction there. Straightened itself back up, and now we're just about perfectly lined up on this descent. Well, we didn't grease it, but we ended up back on our wheels, which is a bonus. So we're running some comp lines here. I mean, and this is a compliment to the truck. If you can do competition level obstacles, you've probably got some performance to speak of. Just there, yep, there a little bit, there a little more. It's always really hard to get forward progress on ledges without a bump once you're squared up and spinning. Okay, turn left. I think we would have hit the outside gate, but we still made the line. So pretty cool there, doing well. Well guys, that's gonna be it for the Redcat Everest Ascent Fusion first run and review here. I hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at the truck, some of the details. It wasn't on the bench, we're out here in the field. I wanted to get out here and drive it and show you guys its performance. What's really crazy about this is that we're talking about Redcat, and the things I'm comparing it against in my head are Vanquish and Axial, like the top tier guys. So really awesome to see Redcat come out and swing like this. And I think they're doing a really good job. They're making huge strides in performance and really doing what I'd like to see done to these trucks. That's super cool. Huge thumbs up to Redcat. Compared to some of their previous releases, which I just didn't have interest in because they weren't really performance trucks, they finally came out with a performance truck and then updated it pretty soon afterwards based on feedback from what I can tell. So excellent work, Redcat. I really enjoy the direction you guys are going. Stay on this path and I'll be a big fan, no doubt. I am a big fan of this Ascent Fusion. Again, the few things that I just didn't personally like on my terrain, these tires don't seem to hook up as well as some of my favorites like Redcat or like Proline G8 tires do, but those are top tier premium tires, you know what I mean? So not many RTR tires can hang with G8 compound. None of them do in my experience. Although these, they're not great RTR tires from what I've seen. I do like that they are beadlock, so you can swap them out. The other complaint I have is just that we're not seeing that steering angle like we can get with things like Vanquish and Axial. Now, if you want to come and play hardball with these guys, that's what you got to do. You got to get your steering angle up there. They've made improvements like that aluminum diff cover to try and get better steering angle. It's still just not where I want to see it. It doesn't pull its nose around as tight as those other trucks are capable of. That's just the truth. That's how it goes. But it's an excellent platform. I'm really enjoying driving it. It's been a lot of fun. I love the electronics combo in here. I love that Redcat is willing to do that while others don't. That cannot be understated. The fact that they're doing this and other people's aren't is a huge thumbs up in my book. And we saw huge strides in performance on the truck, from the brass portal covers, which are really nicely machined. They look great. And then other things like those internal springs on the front shocks, I don't know if I would do that. I'll probably take those out and see how they perform. And then other things like the anodization, I know it's just gonna be kind of controversial whether you like the red and black ano on there. Some people won't. It's just how it is. That's why there are so many different colored parts out there. Otherwise, everything would just be red anodized, right? So those are my thoughts on the truck. I will leave an affiliate link down below. I will certainly say that I've enjoyed my time with the truck. If you're interested in picking one up, if you buy it through my link, it will help support me here on the channel. If you just wanted to come here and see how this compares to your other trucks, look forward to that in future content here on my channel and get subscribed. My name is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. I thank you very much for watching. We will see you guys in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.